Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday night, everybody. Welcome to Got Your Back, our live stream here on YouTube, X, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. We're live all over the place this year. And if you're listening to us in podcast form the next day, hope your Friday is going great. Welcome to Got Your Back. Brought to you by Play Alberta. We are coming at you from our Adrenaline Diesel studio tonight. Adrenaline Diesel is a Caterpillar recognized and authorized dealer and repair facility for expert service for your Cat engine. Visit adrenalinediesel.ca. Got a great show in takeaway segment in particular, because I've got a question I want to put to Rob Brown and I want to put to Jason Strudwick. I'm really curious as to what their answer is going to be. I know what mine's going to be, but I've been thinking about this for a while and I want to present it to the fellas. As always, Got Your Back, brought to you by our proud title sponsor, Play Alberta. Skate over to playalberta.ca and get in on odds boosts, player props, and other ways to make game time more interesting. Deposit today and get a $50 free bet with the code GYB9. So that is promo code GYB9 at playalberta.ca. Fine evening to the gentlemen, Jason Strudwick and Rob Brown. I tried something different tonight before the pod, guys. I had a little bit of time. I was extra prepared. I was extra prepped. Little pre-podcast hot tub tonight, Struddy.
Oh, God. There's, you know what? I think we can share enough. I don't need a whole, you're going in your hot tub before. Like, luckily I don't have to eat tonight.
What do you mean? We're buds. We can talk about that stuff. That's not weird for me to share. It's not like I told you I cleaned my toenails before the show or something. That's a normal thing. Like, I just gave it a go. Wanted to see how it felt, how the energy level would be. Brownie? Is that weird?
Well, not weird. I mean, I'm not sure I'm going to share with you that I had a bath today. If you want to know, I did.
Shaved?
No, didn't shave, but I did have a bath. Okay, a little odd that you started the show with the fact that you had a hot tub. Like
It's odd.
I don't know. Struds, did you comb your hair today? Like, hey, this is just a daily routine thing. I just want to announce it.
There's JL saying, did you wear your True Religion jeans in the hot tub? Already we're back on the jeans, Struddy. And you know what? We got to run that promo every show. It's never going to die, that jeans thing from last episode.
No, yeah. I don't know. Did either of you guys ever do it? I hated getting new skates. Hated them. And I've had assistant coaches wear my skates at times to break them in before it got to me. One of the ones that I found that was most successful was putting tape on the bottom of your skates and then going in a hot tub with my skates on, coming out, retying them, back in the hot tub, coming out, retying them, and then all of a sudden they mold to your. See, I played in an era when they didn't have the moldings where you could go to the sports shop and they'll mold. Like, you had to do it yourself. I tried it in the oven, but I burnt my skates, and the team wasn't very happy because I had to get new skates. But I have done it in a hot tub before.
Yeah, no, and I've heard a lot of people doing that, and I just want to make a statement here. I had a lot of people stop me. My criticism of your jeans, as outdated as they are, it should never have said that. I should never have said that. And I apologize. Now, I did get a laughing emoji from your wife, so I think it kind of balances out. But either way, I'll apologize nationally here about your, making fun of your outdated jeans. I'm sorry.
So, okay, hang on. What are you apologizing for? Are you admitting that the jeans were fine and that you were wrong?
I think
I don't think that's it.
No, because I'm not wrong. I think it's drawing attention to something that obviously is a weakness of yours, right? That's twice.
Fashion?
The soft teeth and now the jeans. It's not a good start, and I apologize.
You're not seriously apologizing to me for taking a shot at my jeans. You are not that butter soft. You don't think I'm that soft. What's the matter with you?
I know you requested how that picture taken out of the ad. And so I know I one of our producers on the side chat we have outside of you said that that's what's happening. So
this is BS. Struds, don't apologize to me. I don't need your stinking apology. You saw an opportunity. You pounced. You were vicious and malicious. You ripped me to shreds. It was funny as hell. Don't apologize and back off that, man. That's just soft. You just butter soft. I don't want your apology. Brownie, can we circle back on the first? Do you seriously take baths? You're a bath guy? Did we know this about you?
I wasn't, but my back's been so bad lately, and I unfortunately don't get paid enough to buy a hot tub. So I have a bath, and they put some Epsom salts in it. I have a glass of wine, put on some soft music, and read a book. It's a wonderful time for me to get away from my family and for my family to get rid of me. So yeah, I do have baths.
Struds, care to chime in on that there, big fella, or are you turning over a new leaf?
I don't understand anyone who takes a bath. You just sit in your own filth, right? I mean, why bother? Like, honestly, I will never understand it. Why would you do that? Why sit in your own filth? Hey, look,
do you go in a hot tub? Do you go in a hot tub?
But I'm not going there to clean and relax up.
I'm not cleaning in the bathtub. I am going in there to relax and have my back feel better.
What are you doing in the bath, soap in there? What you up to in there, bud?
You throw a bath bomb in there.
Yes, I do have a nice bath bomb. My daughter has a nice selection, and she allows me to use her unicorn one every once in a while, and it's comfortable.
We're right off the rails already tonight, hey?
Yeah.
You know what, though? I do like, Brownie, that you are vulnerable enough to share on this show.
Well, nobody watches, do they?
No,
this is just the three of us, right?
No, we're good. We're good. Nobody's double A says this show is off and running. Struddy, you were vulnerable enough to share with us that knitting was a passion and a pleasure of yours. In the season opening episode, I told you guys that I was going to share something with you that I thought might be a little bit embarrassing, and I'm ready to do that now because this is a safe place and we're having a bit of a circle of trust here with us and our viewers and our listeners. So there's a new pastime that I've taken up, right? It's evening, settling into bed. You know, the missus has maybe one of her shows on that I'm not quite so interested in. And so rather than doom scrolling on my phone while I fall asleep, I've decided to take something else up. Now, I love technology, as you guys know, and I got a nice new iPad. This is the big one. And so late at night, while my wife is watching her shows, I've taken to some adult coloring books to kill some time while I'm asleep. Well, I'm getting ready to go to sleep.
Are there numbers on there? Is it a paint by number you got?
No, you just get to decide for yourself. You get to decide for yourself what colors you want it to be. So I'm working on a nice little hummingbird here. I got the stylus, and so that's my being vulnerable, Struds. Newer, kinder, gentler Struddy.
No, you know what? The first comment I'm going to make, I'm not surprised that your wife has the remote. That's really the only takeaway. I can't even get to the pictures. Hey, let's watch some sports. No, I'm going to watch something else. Like, okay, all right, sounds great, babe.
I'm going to draw a mermaid.
Yeah.
I'm going to draw a mermaid.
Yeah. Oh man, she's like, boy, this guy's really working me up here.
Shane Mathen says, what the hell is going on? When does the season start? Shoggy Ross says Chris R. All right, enough of this garbage. But guys, I love our circle of trust and the fact that we can be open and honest with each other with our passions. Let's get to breaking things down because it was day one of training camp and I was down there at the rink. Watched most of both sessions. So we got some stuff to dissect. Our breakdown is brought to you by Alberta Ram dealers. Ram trucks continue to deliver with power and style and innovation. The 2025 Ram 1500 features a bold new powertrain, a redesigned exterior, and state-of-the-art technology. These things are maxed on the interior. So nice. Technology is so good. Check out the most awarded light-duty truck ever, See your Ram dealer today. Okay, 2 different sessions. They got enough guys that they're all separated into a couple of groups, which is normal. Guys, the top 4 lines, we can basically just book them. They are what we all thought they would be. They basically are. The only thing in question was kind of what would the 4th line makeup look like. I mean, it was Corey Perry with Derek Ryan and Vasily Podkolzin there. But on day number 1, next to Darnell Nurse, it was Ty Emberson. We have talked a little bit already in the first episode about the blue line and the right side on the second pairing, guys, and we know what the options are. But as I think more and more about this, guys, and as I was watching today, and Emberson, we'll see how he looks, and I think he's got a good chance to give him some good minutes. But once again, Struds, I want to get back to sense of urgency and how patient Stan Bowman can be to fill this incredibly important spot on a team that wants to get off to a good start and contend for a Stanley Cup. I can't help but think if there aren't a few different reasons why, if there's an option, an upgrade, that sooner would be better than later.
I think often you can't read too much in day 1 of training camp, but I think in this case you can, with Emberson being beside him. They're basically saying, hey, buddy, this is your spot. Grab it and run with it, So I think you're reading, I think there is something to read you into from day 1 there. I thought it'd be Adam Larson, be the guy they trade for. He signs an extension to Seattle, so that makes it a no-go. So Stan Bowman has the flexibility, cap flexibility, and some assets to make a trade when he feels he wants to, or when the opportunity comes up. But I don't think, I doubt it'd be before Christmas, guys. I really don't, unless something jogs loose. Honestly, I'd be surprised.
I agree with Struds. I think there's no urgency at all. I think that this team is good. I think this is a good hockey club. The beginning of the season for good hockey clubs really don't mean much. We saw that last year. This team is making the playoffs. This team I think Stan Bowman has to find the right defenseman when the right opportunity comes. If it's in day 5 of training camp, it comes along, great. If it's at Christmas, great. If it's the day before the trade deadline, it doesn't matter. There's no use going out and getting something that might be a little bit better than what you have, but down the road, that now gives you cap issues when you really want something else. So to me, I said it the other day, and I believe it. The beginning of the season does not matter. If the Oilers get off to a 2-9-1 start, who cares? This is a good hockey club that can get to the Stanley Cup Finals again. I'd rest Nurse until he's 100% ready. The team might not be as good without him as well. But this is a long, long process, and the only games that matter start in April for the Edmonton Oilers.
This team is one injury on the left side away from having one of the, no disrespect, one of the weakest blue lines in the league. They're one injury away on the left side. If you think about what they've got, you guys, and the wrong injury comes along. Okay, we'll get refocused here. Let's listen to Chris Knobloch on his approach to finding a partner for Darnell Nurse as we get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here.
The thing that needs to be done is find the best player or best players to make this team, and not necessarily find the best partner for Darnell first. We want to find out who's the best to make this team. We've got several guys that have an opportunity to do that. And then once we find out which players, then we'll find out the partner. So I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves and say we need to find that partner for Darnell right away. And because also Darnell's not going to play the first few exhibition games. He'll probably sit out the couple just with his rehab. And maybe later on the exhibition, then we'll be really seeing who his partner should be.
Okay, so I'm going to make another case here. I'll take one more run at this because my level of urgency on this it's a little different than your guys, I think. So here's another point I want to make. I think that Darnell Nurse coming into training camp, a little bit banged up. Now he's hoping to be and confident to be ready to go for the start of the season, but that's different than coming into training camp healthy, getting a full running start and rocking and rolling from day 1, right? We saw that with Ekholm last year. Limited in training camp, battled his way through. So he's already behind the 8 ball a little bit here. Darnell Nurse is under as much pressure as any player on this team to perform regularly. Darnell Nurse's partner was traded away, and Darnell Nurse doesn't have a lot of help. Matthias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard, they're going to be the number one pairing. It's going to be the Bouchard year. New contract, Four Nations Cup. It's going to be, potentially a Norris candidate type season. It's going to be points. And Darnell Nurse doesn't have help. And the expectations and the pressure on this player, and he's coming in with an injury, Struds. My concern is they're not necessarily setting Darnell Nurse up for a lot of success in the early going here and not really supporting him and putting him in the best position to make sure that a player that's under huge pressure gets off on the right foot this year.
This isn't a rookie. This is a veteran who's been around a long time. And obviously he was dealing with an injury last year, and that's why, his play wasn't what we're used to seeing from Darnell Nurse in the playoffs. So they're going to make sure they get him healthy and then move forward with that. And yeah, it'd be better to have Cody Ceci than probably what his partner will be to start the year. But you can't just force a trade. I mean, it's, everyone thinks that they have a chance to win, whether that's true or not, in reality, if they can do it or not. But they've got to find when the time's right, and you can't force it, because if you try to force it, you're going to pay. You're going to pay crazy. Remember a few years ago when Chiarelli traded for 2 D-men? I think it was Petrovic, and then who's the other one? It was a second and a third or something for those guys. And no disrespect to them.
Was it Mike Green?
No, it was
a different year.
It was Petrovic and someone else. But I think it was the second and third. I remember thinking, like, no disrespect to those guys, but that's a pretty heavy price to pay. But it's because they knew they had nothing else. So that's why I think right now it'd be a really difficult time to make it happen.
Well, and with Nurse too. I mean, this is a seasoned pro that's a couple of years ago played 40 minutes in a playoff game against Winnipeg Jets. I don't think they're too worried about Darnell Nurse not having a partner that's going to help carry him. Darnell Nurse's job is to carry a young player, is to carry a player that is lesser than him. So I get Darnell healthy. I got no fear that Darnell is going to get back to where he needs to be. And I don't think the organization has any fear. That's why they got rid of CC. They felt that Darnell is going to bounce back and be the defenseman that they need him to be. If you have to protect Darnell Nurse and his confidence, well, then you made a really, really bad decision in signing him, because Darnell Nurse is here to protect the player that he plays with and give confidence to the player that he plays with. And that's what I believe the Oilers think.
What's supposed to be and what actually is sometimes don't necessarily meet up. And the storyline with Darnell Nurse, I mean, I agree, for what the space that he occupies and the experience that he has, I totally agree. But I would say that Darnell Nurse is he's got to find his game in the regular season. He's got to get back to being more consistently a dominant type defenseman and finding his game. And I just think for the amount of pressure he's under and how much focus he gets in this market, I just don't think he's got a lot of support. And I'm not sure that's a recipe for the right start to the year for him. But you might be right, because if he finds his game, I agree. He can do those things, you guys, but he's injured to start, and it was bumpy at times with him late last year.
Well, one of the points you made is they got rid of his partner. Well, what about the pressure those two would have had if he's playing with the entire Edmonton Oiler fan world said that those two cannot play together. So maybe the best thing they did for Darnell Nurse was to get rid of Cody Ceci. So now there's no pressure to put those two together, because nobody in Edmonton that's an Oiler fan wants those two to play together.
I like Ceci. I mean, yeah.
But
let's see what Emerson has, right, Struddy? Like he doesn't have a lot of experience, but you look at some of his numbers on a tough San Jose team, were not bad. So we're going to see what he has. Let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here, because there's a little bit more perspective on this. Hockey seasons mean that the cold is coming, so it's time for a new furnace, garage heater, or hot water tank. Weiss Johnson is here for all your home comfort needs, specializing in servicing your existing systems or installing new ones. Get ready to be cozy this Oilers season. Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Okay, here is Darnell Nurse on Emerson and how to help integrate him.
Just a little bit from being around them here at camp, and obviously his work ethic, like extremely hard work ethic. The true pro, he's always in the gym, getting ready, getting prepared, cooling down. So, and he's got just playing with him, his attention to detail out there on the ice. Looks like he's gonna be a really good pro.
Are there things that you can do, Darnell, to like try and make this easier for these guys? I mean, they're going to be competing for these spots. There's opportunity there. How can you help smooth the way for whoever this is going to be with you?
Yeah, talk. I think communication is the biggest thing. When you communicate early, you get that second sense of where your partner's going to be, and that's what this is all about. This is what preseason and training camp's all about, is building that foundation, not just in the team game, but whether it's your pair or your line, you got to do the same thing.
Stan Bowman on what's potentially out there, the Justin Schultzes, the Shattenkirks, versus keeping an eye on what these internal guys are going to be able to do.
Part of our job in the next month is to evaluate the options that we have, both internal and external, and that's all. It's an ongoing process, so it's hard to, I guess, game plan where we are in that process. We want to give the players who are here and signed a chance to show us what they can do, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't looking around to see if there's other players that could make our team better. So, we know that's an area that we're going to be focusing on over the next few weeks heading into the regular season. So we'll just see how it all plays out.
I think they should strongly consider getting somebody that would be an upgrade right now. They've got multiple defensemen that are out there, Schultz, Shattenkirk. There are options. If they want to go with what they've got and give Emberson a chance, and I think that's what they want to do, I'm fine. Like, okay, but I'm not giving it that much time, guys. If it looks like Emberson's not going to be able to hack it, I'm not letting Darnell Nurse and this team hack and smash their way through the first 2 months of the playoffs. Clearly not good enough on that pairing.
Yeah, I stick with what me and Strauss said before. I in no panic rush at all. I mean, the players that you're talking about are players that 31 other teams don't want right now either. So it's not like you say it's an upgrade, but 31 other teams don't think Shattenkirk or Schultz are worth a contract. So how big of an upgrade is it? I say go with what you got right now and wait for the right player to become available. And when he's available, now make the move.
Yeah, because you're not going from and let's just say we think Emberson's a 6. Is Schultz a 6.5, right, or a 7? Like because is that the guy? Is Schultz the guy you're taking into the Stanley Cup final or into the playoffs? Would you feel comfortable with that?
Well, it doesn't have to be. You can still upgrade later in the season. It doesn't mean you can't go find the perfect guy later. Stress.
They just keep adding more and more of the same, right? It's like it just. I don't know. I think I just roll with what you got. Sorted out.
Give them all an opportunity.
I like it. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Vasily Podkolzin, guys. I hope that this guy plays a lot, and that means we get to talk to him a lot because he was a great interview today. We had a lot of fun with him. He's got lots of personality, great Russian kid. I was laughing and joking around a little bit, but a couple things. On that line with Corey Perry and Derek Ryan, said that he wants to penalty kill. Strud, somebody asked us during Ask Us Anything if we thought Podkolzin might get a look on the penalty kill. We were pretty quick to dismiss it, but then when you start running through the actual numbers of forwards and guys that might be able to, there could be a little window here for Podkolzin to get a little bit of a look on the penalty kill. I'm going to be interested to see if that happens, but here he is. I asked him about his time in Vancouver, more than anything, what it'll take to find that offensive confidence, because he was drafted as an offensive player. Finding that confidence at this level.
Be more confident, play more with puck, and do not scared to get mistake, to have mistake, and I mean it will happen, but it's how we reacted on it, and just be respond, play hard. I have great teammates around right now, and great line mates as well, so they'll help me, I'll help them.
You guys are going to be on a team playing with Connor McDavid against you.
It's great to be with him, not against. Yeah, it's. I mean, especially when he was on the ice, I was on a bench all the time, so I didn't play much against.
There were 3 or 4 belly laughs during his scrum today, guys. I asked him if he was going to be able to handle the winter in Edmonton after kind of the soft weather in Vancouver. He said, "I'm from Russia. I don't care." Lots of personality there, and seems like a good kid. Resurrection project here, Strud. Sometimes on, high draft picks in their second organization is where they have a chance to hit a little bit.
So I reached out to some friends in Vancouver and asked them what was the info on him, and the first thing they all said, confidence. He's a great kid. Everyone loves him. He has got skill. He does everything well, but he loses confidence quickly. So they've got him with 2 veterans, and especially Corey Perry. Corey will be very clear as to how they need to play to have success. So that's actually a nice guy for him to be around. And I don't know if they're going to play together all year or whatever, but it'll be an opportunity for him to listen to Corey, understand how to play. So it's almost like having a coach on your line that is your friend rather than a coach. So I think he's a complete wild card. I have you could tell me he's going to score 15 goals or he's going to score 1. And I'd be like, yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening. So he to me is a complete wild card because he's unknown. He's a complete unknown, Brownie.
I agree. I mean, we've got to see a little bit of him in the playoffs. I thought he played with some aggression. And if he's going to play on the 4th line, he has to. I read an article today that they hope he's the reincarnation of Klim Kostin. I mean, he talks like him, where he's funny and good to listen to. Hope that confidence is huge, Struds. You and I know it. And it's funny. As a pro level, it's hard to believe sometimes that these star players could lose confidence, but they do. The best of the best lose confidence at times. So a young player trying to find his way. Hopefully this is an opportunity for him, and he grabs it. But the Oilers need a player like, is it Podkolzin? Is that how you say it?
Podkolzin.
Podkolzin. They need a player like that to jump in. the D is silent.
No, don't mess him up. Let me say that wrong.
That is silent.
Yeah, I think he's a more skilled player than Kostin and not as tough. Although, if you haven't seen his scrap with Raphael Lavoie last year, go over to hockeyfights.com or YouTube or whatever and take a look. He had a great scrap against Raphael Lavoie last year, Struds. Did you watch it? I sent it to you today.
I did, and his head was down a lot. That's very, very scary. So, you just put your head down. It's like ding, ding, ding.
Not necessarily his wheelhouse, buddy. I'm not saying how would he do against a left-handed Struddy in the day.
I know I wouldn't hurt him. I would just maybe give him a scratch. No, but I think so. What I'm saying is that from what I saw in that fight, I would not want him fighting too much because it's not like Raphael Lavoie is Bob Probert.
He's willing though, Brownie. He was willing. He dropped the mitts.
That's all he wants.
Like, hey, man. He's willing.
So was Brownie.
And he get knocked out one time. See, one time I get knocked out. Can't live that one down.
Time. All right, that was the breakdown brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. Coming up in our next segment, I'm going to pose a question to you guys, and I'm really fascinated to hear what your answers are going to be. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. I just kind of want to drop it on you and see what your immediate reaction is. Because I've been having this debate behind the scenes with lots of people. The Quizmaster and I have been going back and forth on this hockey topic for some time. So and a pretty funny moment at practice today with Zack Hyman and Connor McDavid. Will recap that as well. You're watching, listening to, downloading, subscribe to Got Your Back. Presented by Play Alberta. Pound that love button.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolanddentistry.com.
All right, time now for takeaways brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. John Deere is a legendary brand. We all know that. And Horizon Ag and Turf is your local John Deere dealer. Now, with 13 locations, visit Horizon Ag and Turf for all your lawn and garden, agricultural, commercial landscaping, small construction, and golf course equipment needs. They got it all. You know what they say, nothing runs like a deer. Visit them online at horizonagturf.com. That's horizonagturf.com. Hey, another question for you guys. Struddy, what time's the 12 o'clock bus leave?
Well, you got to be there probably 5 minutes early, right? Be ready.
5 minutes? So that's kind of your thought, Brownie? 12 o'clock bus, what time you showing up?
Well, it depends. Are you a star on the team or are you a slug? If you're a slug, you're there at 11:30. If you're a star on the team, you show up right at 12 noon.
I love that answer. So I asked that question to Zack Hyman today because, well, Zack Hyman, you know, he cut it pretty close today to the start of practice, guys. He kind of stepped out on the ice as they were gathered around the board. And now, in fairness, Hyman insists he was still 3 minutes early. But our ace cameraman, Dave Parker, was on the bench, and he heard Connor McDavid giving it to Hyman. Now, here's the backstory, though. Zack Hyman and his wife, Alana, had their third child yesterday. Might have even been last night. Camden Maxwell, 7 pounds, 14 ounces. So a huge congratulations to the Hyman family. So what I'm going to play for, it's going to be hard to make out, but McDavid was playfully chirping at Hyman for being late in McDavid's eyes to practice. So what you're going to hear is McDavid being like, not a great start, Hymes. Not a great start, Hymes. Unbelievable. And then I tried to take Hyman to task today in the scrums after practice.
Just on time for practice? Would it be the day after having a baby, or is that like...
just on time. It was 9:30 practice. I was 9:27, and we were just about to start. So
you were good then.
Honor was maybe... Apparently, I wasn't good, but no, it was funny. The guys were giving me a little grief. I was like, we said 9:30. It was 9:27. It was good. So I like to take my time.
What time's the 12 o'clock bus leave, though?
Well, literally, it's 12:05 usually. So, yeah. You know, I'm not really for those.
See, I was always taught, like, someone asked you the question, what time's 12 o'clock bus leave? The answer is 11:45. Like, it's always 15 minutes early, guys. So, I mean, in my mind, he was late.
You think you should be out there 9:15?
Yeah.
9:15 for a 9:30 practice?
Yeah, you get I mean, maybe not for Hyman, to Brownie's point. Like maybe not for Hyman. Day one of training camp, you know. Don't need to be out there half hour early, like playoff time, I guess, Brownie.
No, Zack Hyman, if he decides he wants to come out at 9:50 because he broke a skate lace, damn straight, this guy scored 54 goals last year. Come on when he wants. I played with Jaromir Jagr. It would be 10 o'clock practice. He'd come out at 10:25, twirl the ice twice, and go back off the ice and
come
watch the
on,
stock market.
for real? Like, was 25 minutes late no big deal?
Oh, if the stock market was down, he didn't come on the ice. He sat in the trainer's room and watched the ticker. So you knew when practice started. I didn't mind it, though, because then I got moved up with the good players to play in practice when Mags wasn't there. So I was like excited.
Yeah. Anyways, congratulations to Zack Hyman and his wife Alana on their third child, Camden Maxwell. Okay, guys, we're going to talk a lot about the Four Nations Cup this year. It's coming up in February, and it could have some pretty significant Oiler content on it. We'll have lots of nice discussions in the next coming months about which Oilers will make it, which Oilers should make it. But there's a debate I've been having kind of behind the scenes with some of my hockey friends, in particular the Quizmaster and I have been back and forth on this a whole bunch. So I'm just going to drop the question. Zuby already put it up on the poll, but I will just flat out ask you guys. Who is going to be the captain for Team Canada at the Four Nations Cup? Brownie?
Sidney Crosby.
Struds?
Sidney Crosby. To me, it's not even a question. Like, listen, I think that Connor, well, all those guys have so much respect for each other. And I think that Sidney Crosby's done so much for hockey in Canada. And obviously, he's been such a good leader. He's won so much. I'd have a hard time envisioning Connor saying, I want the C, right? I think that he'll be like, no, give it to Sid. It's not going to change me at all. Like, it's not going to change anything. And I think, and not that I think Sid wants it, but I think everyone on that team would say, yes, Sidney, he's earned it. He's earned the right to wear that C at that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I would think if they had a player vote on that team, it would be unanimous that Sidney Crosby was the captain.
Of course it would.
Yeah,
of course, because all of the Canadian players know what that means, and everybody, of course, I don't disagree with that at all. But I'm just going to play devil's advocate on this conversation, you guys, because that's what makes for good podcasting. So I agree with you. If you were to ask Connor McDavid, there'd be no, yeah, absolutely. And I think if Sidney Crosby's captain at this tournament, it's no issue at all. It's a great choice, and of course, right? He's got so much experience. But I'll just present this idea. I see this as a 2-tournament package that Hockey Canada and the best on best format is engaging in here. You've got the Four Nations, and then you've got the Olympics coming up in a couple of years, right? I don't know, we'll see where Sid is at for the Olympics in 26, right? Different tournament, but this will be McDavid's kind of first foray onto the world stage here in this, to this magnitude. And the Olympics will be huge as well. I mean, do you not see a pathway where Sidney Crosby kind of recognizes that it's McDavid right now? McDavid right now to the game is what Crosby was when he took over as captain. And there were good players, not Sidney Crosby's, but there were good players in and around Team Canada when Crosby took over that mantle. But do you not think that Crosby's perception of where things are right now is that it is so obviously Connor McDavid in this moment here and now that he would be not only okay with it, but he might feel like it's looking towards the Olympics. It's going to be Connor's team then. Why not have him pass the mantle now, Struds?
You go first.
Go ahead, Brownie. Go ahead.
No, go, Brownie. Go, Brownie. Go ahead. You go ahead.
So, I mean, Connor McDavid doesn't need to learn how to be a captain at the Four Nations Cup to be a captain at the Olympic team. Doesn't need to learn. So if all of a sudden the Olympics come and they decide at that point that Connor's a captain, had he been a captain in the previous or February, not going to make a difference. B, you're not giving the captaincy to the best player. You're giving it to the greatest leader. And Sidney Crosby has been the greatest Canadian leader over the last 20 years. He's won everything. So to me, it's you're not looking, the players that are playing in this tournament are not looking to the Olympics. They're looking at winning this tournament. They're excited. This is the first chance for a lot of these players to play at the international level. So they're not looking ahead. Okay, we're going to have a dress rehearsal for the Olympics. So to me, this is, there's not even a question. Sidney Crosby is Captain Canada. He should be the captain of this team. And to me, there's not even a hesitation or a thought for someone else to be it. When you get to the Olympics, make your decision then. But right now, Sidney Crosby should be, and with unanimous consent with the rest of his teammates on the Four Nations Cup, as the captain of Team Canada.
The only way he's not the captain is if he comes to Connor and says, you know what, buddy, I think you should be the captain.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
But why would he say that though? Like if the coach chooses, I'm sure they'll talk to Connor about it. Like I think you're saying, and let's be honestly, this is a Four Nations Cup. I don't really care about this tournament. There, I said it. I really don't care about it. I'm going to put it out there.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care about this tournament. I don't think it's a joke to me. It's four countries. I just don't. I don't like it. I'll take the time off, but I'm not into it, guys. So that's how I feel about it. But it doesn't mean that Sidney shouldn't be the captain. So I know that's completely off, but it's 4 teams. 4 teams. No Russia.
One thing I'm really going to disagree with you on, Brownie, is that just suddenly becoming captain of a team like that would just be fine to do for the first time on the Olympic stage, that there would be no benefits in Connor McDavid spending time in that environment with those caliber of players around him, getting comfortable with the idea that no. Like you need to lead the way you would lead in Edmonton. You need to lead and be a captain among your peers at this level. I think not having it be the first time at the Olympics wouldn't be a bad thing.
Completely disagree. Connor McDavid's going to lead at this tournament whether he has a C or not. And when he gets to the Olympics, he's going to lead. Connor McDavid is not going to change his game or who he is at this tournament or at the Olympics. He does not need a trial run. This is the best player in the world that is a true leader. He doesn't need a trial run around all of his peers to believe come Olympic time, whew, I hope I can do this. So, no, I disagree. Connor McDavid, if on day one of the Olympics is the first time he's ever wears a C as a Canadian with a Canadian flag on the front, I'm pretty sure that Connor will be able to handle it.
Struds, I know you don't care about the tournament, but think about it as a 2-tournament package here.
Yeah,
we're going to be talking about this thing, so buy in a little bit.
No, and I get it. It's exciting for the fans. It's like a glorified all-star tournament. But it's cool. It's gonna make a lot of excitement, and it'll be fun to see everyone playing together. But if you ask people, would you rather have the Four Nations Cup medal with 4 teams or win the Olympics?
I know.
So that's why. How can I get excited? So I feel like I'm being force-fed this to try, not by you, but by trying to get excited. So just call it what it is. It's an all-star, a 4-team all-star tournament. I see them in.
Do you think it's going to be all-star game quality hockey?
No, but it's like 4 of the best countries in the world, other than Russia.
But it's not all of them. Yeah.
Together.
You don't think Canada and U.S. toe-to-toe, best on best like this for the first time in how long? You don't think there's going to be some juice in that?
I do think it'll be pretty intense, but it's not Olympics, right? It's just, to me, it doesn't mean I go Stanley Cup, Olympics, and then everything else after that, except for the one time, what was that thing called when Mario and Gretzky played together?
The Canada Cup?
Yeah, except that one. That was special. But I was young. No, listen, I think you're overthinking it, Shogger. I just look at the history of Canadian hockey is that, you respect people who've come and what they've done before you. And Sidney Crosby scored 42 goals last year. So let's say he even drops down to 35 goals this year at his age. I mean, he's a complete player. And I think Connor can go there and he can watch and see how Sid does it. And you're right. The Olympics is a bigger tournament, but I just, unless the only way is if Sid says, pass it to Connor. That's the only way that they can go through and make this happen.
Yep, I would agree with that. That the only way for it to happen would be 100% with Sid's blessing. I completely agree with that. Listen, and don't get me wrong. I said before, if Crosby is the captain of this team, makes complete sense. I've been at the Olympics and covered Sidney Crosby as the captain of these Team Canadas and watched him win and do it. The World Championships and World Juniors. So this is not about Sidney Crosby. It's just interesting to me, that the mantle at some point is going to be passed, and Connor McDavid is going to take on that mantle. I just wonder if maybe it isn't this time around. So we'll have to wait and see. That is our DeBoer's YouTube poll tonight, brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center, helping you play better golf since 1999 with their TrackMan, fitting bays, instruction, after-sales support, golf merchandise, and clothing. Go down and check out their pro shop style atmosphere located at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. Now, Zuby, what are the early returns on the poll? Because you've had it up for a little bit there. Not as definitive as what these two are suggesting it would be, although we'll keep in mind it's a poll of Edmonton Oilers fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's get to some early results of the poll so we don't forget to do it tonight. Who will be the captain of Team Canada at the Four Nations Cup? Right now we got 58% only saying Sidney Crosby, 41% saying Connor McDavid, other at 1%. I think the only other name I think I saw in the chat was Nate McKinnon. But it seems like it's pretty, 57 to 42 right now for Sid.
Good stuff. All right, when we come back, Brownie Points, Struddy's World, Ask Us Anything, lots of show left. You're listening to Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Welcome back to Got Your Back here, live streaming on this Thursday night. Oiler training camp is now underway. Time for Brownie Points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Hamel's world-famous jerky located right here in Alberta using prime Alberta beef. Their jerky is available in 14 tantalizing flavors, including the famous sweet and spicy jerky. It is so good. Hop on to albertajerky.com to order yours and enter the code GOTYOURBACK for 10% off. And look at those jeans, Struddy. Look at those beauties, buddy.
I gotta be honest, if you're looking at that right now, I think you actually could have made a better pair of jeans out of the aprons that those two gentlemen were wearing.
Struds, I really want to understand this apology you gave me. Did people really make you feel bad for ripping into my jeans? Like, was it your wife? Did Shona go to bat for me? What happened?
Okay, you want me to tell the
back
truth?
off?
I have an ulterior motive. I wanted to bring it up again just to get those that maybe didn't hear it to kind of get fired up to hear it. Okay. So what do you call it? Disingenuous apology?
Yeah, I miss the disingenuous nature of that apology. Brownie, bring us brownie points, pal.
Well, it's funny. My first one is minus 75 brownie points to my good friend Jason Strudwick for his unapologetic apology. I really don't think I could tell there was insincerity in that apology. And I think you actually hurt Shogger's feelings more with your pretend apology than you did with the mean comment about his nice jeans. So you're at minus 75. Yeah, he's got two minuses already on the season.
Yeah. So he's what was it, 39, the other one? Zuby,
yeah, that's right, too. That is
minus
114.
Yeah, I'm deep in the hole Struddy gets here. This is not going to be your year in brownie points.
You are. I've got 11 brownie points to my friend Shogger for the number of times Shogger says that Stetcher should be the top 4 defenseman during the preseason.
I haven't said that once.
And then he wrote 12 times for Justin Schultz.
I've got 20 as a number of brownie points to the over-under that you two can answer right here. Regular season games that Evander Kane plays for the Edmonton Oilers.
Under.
I'm going to say, I can't remember what you said. I'm going to say about 25.
So that would be over. So yeah, you went over, Struds went under. All right, I've got 50. This is outside of the game of hockey. 50 brownie points to Ohtani of the LA Dodgers today. Went 6 for 6, 10 RBIs, 3 home runs, a couple stolen bases. He became the first player in Major League history to get 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in the same season. So he gets 50 big brownie points that will go on to the $1 billion contract he already has. And my very last one, 1 brownie point to my friend Shogger for the number of losses this season the Oilers will have before he starts saying they need to make a trade for a number 4 defenseman.
At least I'm getting positive points. You're ripping me with them, but at least I'm in the black here, bud. Obelisk 21 chimes in, obviously talking about Struddy's minus 100 and whatever he is, and says, sadly enough, not Struddy's worst career plus minus. So Obelisk 21, that might be play of the day. We'll see.
Listen, that stat is faulty. You can't control everything, right? If it was tennis, I would have been plus. Playing by myself. I'm playing with 4 other guys and a goalie that screwed me over many nights.
All right, Struds, you get the stage because it is time as we transition from brownie points from Hamel's Premium Jerky for Struddy's World.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
Oh yeah, Struddy's World brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. They've got locations in Calgary and Edmonton. If you're a contracting business or a contractor, let DLR Vinyl help you add vinyl fence to your product line. See why they've been going strong since 2005. Reliable, unmatched service, high quality, North American-made products. Visit dlrvinylproducts.ca. I have some maintenance-free decking. I had some maintenance-free fencing in one of my last houses. Amazing stuff. No sanding, no staining, no painting. It's well worth it. So give them a call or check out the website, DLR Vinyl. Struddy.
Robin Lehner has been a good NHL goalie. And obviously it's well documented. He's had some physical issues. He's had some mental challenges. He's gone and mental health challenges, I should say. And then he's gone and got help through the NHLPA and NHL assistance program. Well, it's the first day of training camp. He didn't show up to get his medicals done, or was whether unable, and no one really seems to know, at least outside of the Vegas Golden Knights, why he didn't come. He has 1 year left on his deal, roughly around $5 million he would make, and he hasn't played in 2 years. So to still be, generally speaking, every injured player that is unfit to play shows up and just gets tested and makes sure they can't do it. And then they put him on the LTIR or whatever, and then he just goes home, and that's it. That's kind of the case closed. So when Robin Lehner didn't show up, it's kind of like everyone's wondering what's going to happen. And Kevin McCrimmon spoke about it and said he's unfit to play, and they're exploring different opportunities or issues that might happen with this. So one of them being they could forfeit or cancel his contract, which would be a pretty major step considering what he's been through physically and emotionally and all that wrapped up in one ball. So it's really interesting to watch. And this is, I'm not going to say it's a precedent-setting one, but it could be something that we could see other teams follow, whether Vegas does it or doesn't do it, and see how the NHLPA reacts to it, how the NHL reacts to it. So this isn't going to affect the on-ice performance for Vegas because Robin wasn't going to be playing for the team this year. But I think it's something that outside, and this is more like the business of hockey, how it's handled by Vegas for a guy that, for whatever reason, wasn't able to show up for physicals yesterday, just to check the box, you're unfit to play, then, you're guaranteed your money for the rest of the year. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out. And lastly, I really hope that Robin's all right. And for whatever reason, able to show up. That is the first thing I saw. That's one of the first things I thought about when I thought that for Robin's being okay.
Yeah, and Lehner was pretty public about some of the things that he's been dealing with: bipolar disorder, ADHD, PTSD, some mental health struggles and such. A quote from Kelly McCrimmon: Robin will not be reporting to the club this year, continues to be unfit to play. There are unique circumstances surrounding this situation that the NHL and the NHLPA and the club are currently working through. Collectively, we are assessing our next steps. When we have more to say, we will. Nothing further until then. So echoing your sentiment, Struds, we hope Robin Lehner is doing okay. And, and that he gets through all of this just okay. But man, that's a to not be able to be there for the physical, potential contract termination. Like, it's been a tough few years here for Robin Lehner, Brownie.
It has. And think about it too. This is a Vegas team that more or less got rid of Fleury because of Lehner. Like, they got rid of probably the most popular Vegas Golden Knight in their short history. And they got rid of him because they went out and got Lehner instead. It's weird, though, that the agent hasn't come out and said something. Just say, all right, it's one thing for Robin not to, but you would think the agent would come out and just say something to clear the air. He's not going to play, because for them to put him on long-term injury, whatever it is, he has to fail a physical first, does he not? And the fact that he isn't there to take the physical, that's why they're getting the NHL and the NHLPA involved. But it's weird that the agent hasn't come out and said something.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll see how this plays out in the coming weeks with the Vegas Golden Knights. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Zuby, do we have another commercial break, or do we got to watch Rob Brown fiddle fart around trying to get out of the podcast?
We have to watch him struggle.
Seriously?
Brownie, we're going to let you go, buddy. Thank you, my friend.
Okay, I'm gone. Bye.
All
Can't
right,
see me now.
see ya.
Bye.
Rob Brown joining us tonight. on Got Your Back. Struddy, let's do the Relentless Player of the Day. Before we get to our Ask Us Anything, let's do our Relentless Player of the Day, brought to you by You Can Use Services. If you're looking for laborers for your business, You Can Use Services can help. Training 18 to 25-year-olds, getting them ready, willing, and able to join the workforce. Check out their Road to Work program at www.youcan.ca. Got Your Back, a proud monthly donor at You Can Use Services. So if you have a chance to be, that would be fantastic. Who you going with, Struds?
Well, this person literally exemplifies all the traits we're talking about in the Relentless Player. Jaromir Jagr, 52 years old, 37th professional season. 37th professional season. He gets an assist in his first game playing for his hometown team, which he owns, Kladno. So I was reading that he's said this will be his last season, but 37 professional years. It is something to be marveled at, admired, and saluted. 2 claps in the booth for him. Woo!
How would you just describe when Jaromir Jagr walks into a room? Because I've been around him. I've seen him at different events. There's just this presence when that man walks into a room, Struds. Was it the same back when he was playing? Like, it's still there. I can tell you, it's still there.
Yeah. I mean, he's hockey royalty, right? What he's accomplished and his story and the way, the way he is, I think the street cred grew. When he got to New York, I think that was kind of the turning point. Then Philadelphia, and he really became quite a fan favorite. And but not just the local player, local teams. It was others that were wanting to see him. So yeah, he is very much engaging and funny, good personality. And yeah, here he is, 50. I can't believe 52 playing a game. It's crazy. It blows me away. Blows me away.
Pretty impressive stuff. All right, that was the Relentless Player of the last half century. Brought to you by You Can Use Services. All right, let's get interactive here on the show. Got a healthy live stream happening on YouTube and X and Instagram and all over the place. Zuby, why don't you hop in here? Time for Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria. Whether you're looking to lower your monthly payments, shorten your loan term, or just want to understand your options, Maria Gallus with Maximal Mortgages has got you covered. The Bank of Canada is lowering rates. You can save thousands on your mortgage, whether you're renewing, refinancing, purchasing something new, an investment property, whatever. Get in touch with Maria. She handles everything for Randy and I. She does a great job. Mortgagesbymaria.ca. Zuby, you're not alone tonight, bud. A familiar face is with you. Can he lean in and say hello?
Have to lean in here.
Just Steve Taylor, a little training session tonight in Kelowna. Steve, how you doing, buddy?
Good, doing well. Yeah, Zuby went and got a bunch of new fancy software and a bunch of new elements to the show, so I have to relearn everything again.
So all these new bells and whistles that you've added to the show, Zuby, have made us look so good, but it's basically like starting from scratch for Steve.
Training wheels back on. No, it's not that bad. It's it's a little refresher. It's the bells and whistles, but it's also a brand new software, and there's lots of wood to knock on around here. So far, so good. We've been limited in tech trouble so far this year. So early returns are good, but got to get Steve 100% up to speed.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Hey, quickly update the YouTube poll, and then I want your 2 opinions on who's the captain should be. Steve, you too. What do you get? You're the voice of the Oiler fan. What do you guys think, Zuby? And where's the poll at?
The poll didn't change much. It went to 58 to, that's unusual numbers. Now we're out 2%. Usually it's off by 1% somewhere, but we got 58% Crosby, 40% McDavid, other 0, which means I believe it only got one vote. Somebody voted for other. I mean, I think I have to echo, I get your argument, Schauger, but I think it's going to be Sid, and I think it probably should be Sid. And somebody said on the stream, Sid for Four Nations Cup and kind of pass the torch to McDavid.
Steve-O, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, I'm with Zuby. I think it'll be Sid for sure, unless he passes it on to Connor, and I don't think that's going to happen for Four Nations.
Sounds good.
And
all right, let's see what everyone else is saying, buddy.
Okay, a couple of quick programming notes also. People on Twitter and Instagram, by the way, we can see your comments here, but we can't comment back. So we appreciate the people who are watching there, watching the Brownie show, or currently the Zuby show on Instagram Live. I'm sorry to all of those folks that have to watch this, but appreciate you being there. We can see your comments. And quickly on I want to do the previous polls. Like I'm not going to get, but just so everyone knows, the poll the first night was, who do you most want to see in camp? It was Emberson, first choice at about 50%. And then the one on Tuesday was how many points do you think for Arvidsson? And it was 31 to 50. Again, about 50% of the people said 31 to 50 points for.
Yeah, we keep forgetting to update the results of the poll. What are they saying tonight, pal?
Tonight, on the defense thing, we got Shane Matheson saying if they can't win missing one D-man, they're in trouble. Patience here for sure. So they're kind of agreeing with Struddy and Brownie. And there was something else more specifically, a question from Quaddy along the same lines. How well does Emerson move the puck? Hopefully well, because he's going to get the most minutes with Leon's line if he plays on that second pairing. What do you guys think about how Emerson moves the puck? Because we've said, I believe it's been said before, we need a puck mover with Darnell Nurse.
Yeah, so I'll take this one just because I got eyes on him today. It's day one of camp, so I'm not going to say you're not going to deliver a full scouting report on day one of camp. What I'd say is that I thought that he skated pretty well, looked like he handled the puck fine, was moving it just fine, but I mean nowhere near game action, so too early to tell. But Struds, his plus minus was not bad on a team that was horrendous last season. So what do you read into a guy that seemed to be in the fight defensively on a team where not a lot of nights they were?
Yeah, no, for sure. And you like that. And some of those numbers are very positive for sure. I did a little digging in, and I think that the one comment that said that he tries to be very physical, and at times he creates injuries for himself. So there's a balance, right? You got to find that balance that to stay healthy, because to build a career, you got to play. You can't miss a pile of games every season to kind of build that game up. So I've said it before. I say, I don't believe that when the playoffs start, the partner for Darnell Nurse is even in this franchise right now, in this organization. It'll be someone different, unless I'm very surprised. I hope I'm, for everyone's sake, and Emerson included, I hope that I'm wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I totally jinxed that. I completely jinxed that.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah. Let's see if we get Schauger back. Okay, we're back on, apparently. You and I will get Schauger back in here, and we'll continue. Sure. Our stream continued. I completely jinxed it. Yeah, Chris R's already said it. I completely jinxed it, but it looks like we're back. So, full recovery. But I did lose all my comments. Nuts. Okay. Where was I going to go with that? There was some people, Chris R. and others, Schauger saying, who, your opinion more, who would you target, either still left in free agency, or who do you think they might be looking at as a trade target to fill that second spot? You're muted there, Shaggy. You're not on your end? Okay. It says you're in the green room, but I don't believe that you are. Dude. Well, darn it. How about you, Struds? We can hear you. Do you want to answer that while I...
Yeah, you know what, guys? It's so... I had said Almarson. I thought that was the guy for sure. Now, he signed an extension, for those of you that kind of missed that during the offseason. So I'm going to slow play this. I don't have the name. What I am looking for is for teams that kind of fall off as the season goes, and you kind of go through. So let's look at some likely candidates. Right. Maybe you're looking at a team like San Jose. Do they have anyone? Or what is Calgary able to bring up? Do they make it? Chicago? I don't know that Utah, there's maybe Columbus. So you're trying to go through some teams that maybe have some guys available, because, we saw guys like Bob Stauffer say that they're going to look to get players with term. So one guy I thought about was Anaheim Ducks. Was it maybe going to be Ratko Gudas? But that's obviously not going to happen now. Right. So yeah. So I'm very interested to see who falls off, like Montreal or Ottawa. I'm just trying to go through some of the weaker teams, or teams I think will be weak before the season starts, which is always tricky.
Sugar, I think we got you now. Yeah, we got you.
Okay. I think I might be pretty laggy, so if you got to just boot me, go ahead.
No, we're good. It was actually, I think I figured out why that happened, but not the crash, why you were muted, but I got you now.
Struds, there's some chatter around camp too. Like Josh Brown, you know, he's a big guy. He can play a physical game. You know, he has played some minutes. Like I wonder if he'll be able to assert himself. He got the nod today next to Kulak in the third pairing on the right side. I kind of wonder where he maybe factors into this.
I see his game as quite predictable. You just nailed it. What he is. He is a physical, very focused type of player, right? You know what you're going to get from night in, night out. There's not the upside, I think, to play further up the lineup. So could he play in the third pairing for sure? And I think he will have time there. You know, he kills some penalties, those types of things. So again, I don't want to. I feel like I've been unfair to him, but I feel like we know what he is, right? Whereas I look at Stetcher and Emberson, we don't know yet what Stetcher has left and what Emberson actually has, right? I know what Stetcher is, but can he play? Can he play 20 minutes a night? I'm not sure he can at that level right now. So, yeah, Josh Brown, I think you know what he is, and I think Oilers fans are going to like him. He'll bring an honest, hardworking approach every game. He'll fight, he'll battle, and he's going to be very likable in this community.
Yeah, the other thing too with him to keep in mind is he got that 3-year deal, right? Like he signed you know, so I mean, I think the intention would be giving him that contract with it, you know, that he'll play. So whether he's 6, whether he's 7 on a lot of nights, a guy that's fine coming in and out of the lineup. But he did get the nod on that right side on the third pair next to Brett Kulak today. Zuby, couple more, and then let's get out of here while it feels like we're risky and shaky.
Yeah. Okay. Chris Boudreau wants to know, do you think goaltending will be a story this year?
I hope a very boring one. That's what I'd love, just to see a very boring, where like just steady, you know, for there's always going to be ups and downs, but just kind of steady the whole year. I'm very interested to see the amount of games played for both. I think they really got to manage Skinner's minutes. I think they also have to manage some skaters' minutes, but I think that's the story I'm tracking. Games played.
Some new gear for Skinner today, too. Some dark stuff. Yeah. I was looking. Zuby, what did you think? I don't know if we can get a screenshot of that up. Probably not. But
so beautiful. I love it. It bugs me so much with the guy. There's all this thing about, the psychology. It looks like the ice. It looks like the net. If it's white, it's so boring. I can't believe those guys can wear any gear they want, have it made up in any way, no questions asked. And they all come out with this boring white stuff. So I loved it. And certainly shades of Mike Smith. It's a beautiful setup. I hope he's rocking that full time and not just that it's not just a practice set or a third jersey set or something like that. It's glorious.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can find it here. Preston Hodgkinson from Daily Hive tweeted a picture today. I'm just looking for it quick. See if I can find it. He was on X there. I'll just kind of hold it up to the camera. Yeah, there it is right there. So that's what he was in today, Zuby. With the blue and orange and the pads, and I don't know. I guess that's, you know, that's X-ray material for goaltenders, right?
Yeah.
Listen to you.
Yeah.
Listen to you.
Yeah. Goalie porn.
Yeah, there you go. All right, on that note.
Okay, well, hang on. I got one to end on here.
Okay.
Chris R. wants to know, what's the most anticipated game of the year? December 7th for me. I believe he said that's St. Louis. What do you think's going to be... That's St. Louis. You got Florida. You got maybe trying to get back against some more action with the Canucks. What do you think is going to be the most anticipated game or anticipated opponent here before we get into the season?
Any game Oilers versus Colorado. Sign me up. I want to see that. I want to see those guys play. And I love some of the players on Colorado. That's why. Ranton is one of my favorite players in the league. Matt McCarr, Taze, like that's going to be fast, good hockey, man. So I don't know what day that is, but that's what I'm signing up for.
Yeah, Oilers Leafs too for me. You get all that power and McDavid, Matthews, and all that. I always look forward to those games too. Plus, Jason Strudwick gets way more airtime that week than he ever should. So Oilers Leafs to me is a pretty anticipated one. All right, let's wrap the show with our play of the day, brought to you by Gallery Dental. From air polisher cleanings to advanced treatments, Gallery Dental offers a full range of services to keep your smile healthy and beautiful. Their experienced team dedicated to providing personalized care with the latest technology to ensure you get the best treatment possible. Contact Gallery Dental, YEG.com. Struds, what are you going with, buddy?
Going way south. The Ducks named Ratko Gudas, their ninth captain. And that's not majorly noteworthy, but it is for a guy.
Love it.
I love hard-nosed, banging defenseman like that shows up. He's 34. He's got 2 years left on his deal. I'm thinking this is probably a guy that does it for a couple of years and they find whoever is going to be. But as a member of a grinding group of D, here's a win for that group of D getting a captaincy in the NHL.
Okay. I mean, I love that you picked that. I do love that you picked that. But I don't know. And Alex Killorn is on that team,
Too long. Contracts too long. The contracts are too long. So Ratko has 2 years left, and I'm guessing by then they're hoping someone else has stepped up. Maybe McTavish. When McTavish, I hear people talk about him being a captain.
How many years in is Trevor Zegras? Not saying it should have been him. I know. I'm just saying.
He will. Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm just guessing that's what happens. That he's and placeholder is disrespectful, but he's the interim captain till one of their younger players steps up and takes it. Because Killorn's got a lot of years left.
All right, I love that you picked that one. That's a perfect play of the day from Jason Strudwick.
Gritty.
Physical defenseman named captain late in his career. Boom. That's right in your wheelhouse, pal.
That's D-man porn. Hardcore D-man porn.
All right, folks. Thank you so much. That's going to wrap up the show. That was our play of the day, brought to you by Gallery Dental. Appreciate all your subscriptions. Appreciate you joining us live here on YouTube and X. If you're downloading us, listening in podcast form, we really appreciate it. We'll drop another podcast. I think what we'll do is Sunday after the Jets game, we'll do one, and then we'll try and get back to doing 4 a week from here on in. But training camp's now underway. We got more to talk about and looking forward to tons of podcast programming coming up this season. So thanks for tuning in. Great job, Struds, Brownie, Zuby. Good to see you, Steve-O. And we'll talk to all of you again real soon. This has been Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.